Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Marketing Matters. I'm Sarah Touchstone, Landmark Title's social media marketing strategist and educator. I get the pleasure of bringing you guys Marketing Matters every single Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Arizona time. The month of June has been all about working with unique buyers and investors, whether that is regular investors, international investors, 1031 exchange. We have covered so much great content this month. We're going to wrap it up with now how to specifically market to all of those different non-traditional buyers. So we're wrapping up. Like I said, we touched base on a lot of different groups, and now we're going to specifically talk about how you can really hone in and market specifically to those investors. So let's talk a little bit about why are we focusing on investors. Investors are active even in slower markets, which is kind of what we're experiencing right now. They often make multiple purchases over time, which means they are repeat clients. These aren't clients that are going to buy a house and then, 10 years from now want to sell it. They are going to want to buy multiple properties. You have the opportunity to build long-term relationships and get referrals from them. Then many cash buyers also use creative financing. So they need really, really good partners. And then investor clients also tend to be data-driven and they value experience and expertise. So they are looking for the best of the best to work with. Who are today's investors? So there are a plethora, and we talked a lot about all the different kinds of investors throughout the month, but let's talk a little bit more. First-time investors, they want education and handholding. They are going into a new realm, and they need you to be their advocate and their partner. Short-term rental buyers, such as Airbnb and VRBO investors, they're looking for legal markets. So they're looking, for the legalities involved in owning these different kinds of short-term rental properties. 1031 exchange participants, these are going to be time sensitive, right? We learned about the 1031 exchange earlier this month and how it is really important, that timeline. And then they're going to need those replacement properties. So very time sensitive. And then out-of-state investors, they're going to rely on you for the market that they're looking to buy in, insight into that current market. And then foreign international buyers. We talked about this last week, FIRPTA considerations. There's a lot more that goes into FIRPTA than just your regular traditional buyers. And then self-employed high-income buyers. These might often need alternative loan strategies. So just a couple of different investors that you might find out there. And what are these investors looking for? Well, they're obviously looking for cash flow potential. How much net monthly income after expenses? And then they're also looking at things like cap rates, very important, ROIs, and the equity growth projections. They're looking for realtors with a strong market knowledge. They're also looking for properties near schools, hospitals, and major employers, such as the microchip factories that are getting built around here. And they're also looking for agents who understand financing options beyond the basics. Once again, the beginning of this month, we talked about alternative loan programs out there. Become the expert in these. And then they're also looking for quick communication and your confidence in the numbers. So all things to take into consideration what investors are looking for when they're looking to work with a realtor. Now, let's talk the talk a little bit, right? Make sure that you are using the right language. And that's what we talked a lot about this month. Is using the right language and really being the expert. So ROI, return on investment, cap rate, that is the net operating income and the property value. And then we've got our DSCR, that's debt service coverage ratio. These are used a lot in alternative loan programs. 1031 exchange. We did a whole webinar on this. This is your tax deferred property exchange. And then we've got gross yield, NOI, cash on cash returns. These you can include into your content, in your emails, in your conversations to really stand out. So great language to start using. Now, granted, make sure that you've done the research, that you've watched our 1031 exchange and whatnot, so that not only are you integrating this language, but you are very competent in the language that you are using with your investors. Now let's talk a little bit about content. This is where I get excited. We had a lot of great speakers this month, but when it comes to content, you guys know this is my favorite. I love talking content with you all. So a couple of things, local market updates. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about some of the tools that we have to get you things like local market updates with rental demands and stats, property analysis examples. So things like this duplex earns $1,800 a month net. Throw things out there. Be competent. Reels. Oh, I love video marketing, guys. 3 signs a property is investor worthy. Love this. And then Canva graphics explaining cap rates, ROIs, DSCRs, all of that good stuff. Graphics, right? We're visual learners. And then frequently asked questions like, can I buy with an LLC? Or what is a good DSCR ratio? All of those things are going to be really great content to put out there, social media, email, texting your investors. Get creative with it. So we're talking about getting creative, right? Now we have these amazing tools. A lot of these we can get you set up with here at Landmark Title. Reach out to your business development manager for some of these tools. These are going to help you to build that credibility and really market that you are an investor specialist. Tools like Palm Agent. This is Landmark Title One's new app. It is amazing. It has net sheets. It has investor ROI calculators built in right there. It also has different marketing pieces that you can customize and you can put out there so that investors will see you right there at the touch of your hands. Altos Market Research is another amazing tool that is going to help you find market trends and rental stats. It updates every week too, so you don't have to wait around and get the monthly market stats or anything like that. You can have this at the touch of your fingers. Then Title Pro 24/7. This is another great tool that we have here at Landmark Title that shows property data and ownership history. We can also help you and your investors pull that information right here in-house. Then we've got CapCut and Canva. You guys know I love Canva. We talk about Canva all the time. Quick, pro quality videos and graphics. Yes, there are videos in Canva that can specialize exactly what you're looking to market to investors right there at your fingertips, and they're high quality and professional looking. So you don't even have to go out there and make your own videos anymore. You can have so many great videos right at your fingertips. And then rental comps and tools. Things like AirDNA, Rentometer, and Zillow Rent are going to give you good comps when it comes to projecting what any type of rental history or projecting into the future what that property is going to be worth. All right, and then now where to show up online. Remember, this one's all about marketing, right? So we talked a lot about the different knowledge throughout the month. Now we're talking about where you can market your knowledge. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is always such a good one, especially when you're looking for investors. I always mention to you guys, there's 3 things when somebody does a Google search on you that show up in your search. That is your website, Facebook profile, and your LinkedIn profile. So having a LinkedIn profile, especially if you are wanting to market towards investors, it's going to give that professional credibility, and it's going to give you the ability to network within investor groups. So brush up your LinkedIn, guys. It's really important. YouTube. YouTube is another great place for education and outreach to give investor tips. You can boost your videos, can boost your SEO, and it's a great way to attract organic leads. Instagram is one of my favorite marketing social medias. I love Instagram Reels. They're quick, they're easy to use, and they really give you a deep reach with your content. Then my other one is not just regular Facebook, but Facebook groups. This is a great area to really kind of dial in and find those like-minded individuals, those local investors. There are local investor groups out there. You can post highlights and deals within these. So really dive in and look hard for those investor groups. A lot of them are going to places like the Facebook groups to really hone in on exactly what they're looking for. And then, of course, email newsletters. You have the opportunity to share ROI and really focus on monthly tips. So if you're cultivating relationships with investors, definitely make sure that you are doing things like newsletters and even to your regular sphere, because you never know who in your sphere might one day want to become that first-time investor. It's going to be very popular, especially with the generational wealth shift that we're going to be experiencing here in the next couple of decades. It's going to be the largest generational wealth shift. And a lot of this next millennial generation is going to be using that money to buy investments. So start dripping those people now. Let's touch base now on one of the topics that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, the 1031 exchange. I think that this is going to be, especially here in Arizona, as we get out of state buyers that have more money that they are selling properties for, like California or Illinois, and then they're wanting to move into Arizona and buy that like property, 1031 is really important. So making sure that you have knowledge, educate your clients. Did you know that you can defer capital gains with a 1031? These are great topics of conversation. Promote 1031 qualified properties in your area to investor groups. Create urgency around that 45-day to 180-day deadlines. Now, I think there are a lot of people out there that would utilize 1031 more if they had realtors that were really, really competent about it. Then you can also collaborate with CPAs and QIs and attorneys in the area too that might be working on something like this. And then just getting out there and posting simple 1031 explain graphics and carousels. The more people know about this, the better chances are that you're going to find people that want to work with you on these 1031s. All right, now let's talk a little bit about the international buyers, the FIRPTA buyers. We talked about FIRPTA last week. So once again, I'm just touching on a lot of the things that we talked about through the month and how to specifically market to them. So foreign investors, they want to work with agents who do understand FIRPTA, which is why we covered FIRPTA last week. Being prepared with title and tax partners who specialize in foreign transactions. We here at Landmark Title do specialize in that. So making sure that you are partnering up with us if you get a FIRPTA type deal. And then you can include FIRPTA tips on like your newsletters, your social media posts, posing questions like, how will FIRPTA withhold? Do I need an ITIN to buy or sell? And position yourself as a globally informed agent. I see this as a big trend right now. I see a lot of agents that are even traveling internationally to get to know other markets around the world. So when you are considering this emerging trend, consider that there are agents that are out there really getting globally informed right now. And as we become a bigger and bigger global community in the Phoenix, Maricopa area, this is going to be very important as well. We have a lot of direct international flights coming up. I think we do France now. We go to London. In 2026, I do believe that we will have a direct Taiwan to Taipei flight as well. So international buyers, global buyers, really important. If you want more information too on the 1031 exchange, the non-traditional loans, or the FIRPTA, please just reach out to your business development manager and we'll get you a copy of those recordings. Now, all that information out there, right? Let's hone it right back into what can you do this week to start marketing to investors. You can do Instagram. Yes, Instagram graphics. 3 ways investors profit from a 1031 exchange. Great topic right there. You can do some reels, whether that is on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. What is the DSCR and why do investors care? This is another really great one. Here's another post idea. This duplex nets $1,500 a month after expenses. Putting things like that out there. Give investors what they're looking for, right? Give them the numbers. A carousel for social media. 5 signs you're ready to buy your first investment property. Love this one, guys. Focus on these first-time investors. There are going to be a lot of them. And then email topics. 3 alternative loan options for your investor clients. Now, you can get all of this information. Obviously, go in, research, make sure that you know this information before you start putting it out there, but you can find everything that you need to know. We have a lot of information just here on Marketing Matters too. So reach out and start really honing in your marketing to work with these amazing people today. Final tips and calls to action. So what is it that investors really want? Investors want agents who speak the language and move fast. Investors need quick movement. This is not a traditional 60-day closing type scenario. Usually they need it done yesterday. Then build credibility through your education content and your tools. If you really want to work with investors, don't just say, I want to work with investors, now come to me. Become the expert on it. Investors want you to know everything about it. And then use every touch point to show your investor expertise. Don't just say, I'm the expert. Show them you are the expert. And then stay consistent. Whatever your investor group you are focusing on, focus on their pain points and give them the solutions for those pain points. And then let them know too that you're the go-to for local expert. Once again, sometimes you're going to be helping investors buy property in areas that they're not familiar with. But if you are familiar, that's going to build that confidence that they have in you. And then I encourage you to start using one new tool or post this week. You realtors, pick something out this week and get started today. Even if it's something, like I said, you're not fully knowledgeable on it, pick a topic that we talked about this month and start building your knowledge, start building your content, and those investors will fall in line and they will want to work with you. They will find you, my friends. All right, guys, that is it for the month of June. It's been an amazing month. If you guys want copies of the recordings that we talked about, it was all about the non-traditional buyers this month, which is going to be so important in our Phoenix area coming up. Reach out, get that information from your business development managers. Of course, if you ever want to find out what other classes we have coming up, go to our events page. Reminder, next week, there is no Marketing Matters in observance of July 4th. July 4th is, we know in Arizona, we're all getting out of town. We're all having a good time the entire week. It's on a Friday this year. However, I know that a lot of people are usually out of town the entire week. So me included, no Marketing Matters next week, but follow the following week. And we're going to have a great July schedule out for you shortly. So stay tuned, but don't be on next week. And then speaking of July, we've got, once again, great classes for you. We talked a little bit about Canva today and it being a marketing tool for you to work with investors. Well, if you want to learn more, please come attend our Canva class on July 8th. This is at our Landmark Title Arrowhead office at the Atrium at Arrowhead. 9:30 until 11 on July 8th. Come on out. I'm going to show you guys not only just how to market your business on Canva, but I'm going to show you some really new features that Canva introduced this year that's going to streamline your workflow. You're going to want to definitely come on out and attend that. And then the beginning of the month, we had Abden Stewart on here talking about alternative loans. And, you know, we can only cover so much in our 30-minute webinar. So we're bringing him back on July 9th at 11 a.m. till noon to really dive into these alternative loan programs, which are going to help you guys with your investors. Scan that QR code, get registered for that as well. That one's on Zoom. And then, of course, we've got our home tours every month, even through the hot summer months. Moon Valley, third Thursdays at 8:30, and Biltmore Luxury, that was this morning at 9 a.m. Next one will be at on that fourth Wednesday, just like it is every month. So come on out, check them out. It's always a good time at the home tours. And then, of course, please reach out to our business development managers through the summer. They are around. They are working their little buns off for you and your investors. Beth, Keith, Michael, Patty, Renee, and Raylan up in Prescott are going to help you with any and all of your marketing needs. Please reach out to them. And then thank you guys for being on, even in the middle of summer. Please remember that throughout the summer and all year long, we have 7 offices to service you for all of your title and escrow needs, as well as one up in Prescott and one up in Las Vegas. So please reach out. We are happy to help you guys. We love working with investors. We have great investor rates too at Landmark Title. So reach out to your business development managers and find out what those rates are so you can even market those types of things. So thank you guys for being on. Thank you to Landmark Title for allowing us to have you every Wednesday on Marketing Matters. And we will miss you next week, but don't worry, we'll be back the following week in July. Happy 4th of July, everybody. And I will see you in a couple of weeks.